Yo, what up? Welcome to another episode of the Oakland Warriors podcast. I'm Patrick, flying solo. I'm doing an episode because the Warriors, they acquired Jimmy Butler, and in his first game, the Warriors beat the lowly Chicago Bulls 132-111, and that was fun. That was so much fun to watch. I've said before that sometimes with this team, it just felt like the same old, and you just wanted to see something different. And that's why so many of us, even though a lot of people disagree amongst Warriors fans about a lot of things, that's why we all agreed something needed to happen. And this Jimmy Butler trade, it was looking better and better. And I talked about why I like the trade. And we saw in this one those reasons. You know, we saw a lot of what Jimmy Butler can bring to a team when he's happy, when he's getting paid, and when he is healthy. So, I wondered, and I asked a YouTube commenter if they'd rather have Zach LaVine or Jimmy Butler. And while LaVine, as of now, again, this is just one game against the Chicago Bulls, but LaVine is younger, a better shooter, and he has a cheaper contract, a longer contract, but less per year. Would he have been a better fit? And there's some things that Jimmy Butler brings that you just can't see on the stat sheet. And Butler, not the best three-point shooter, but you saw in this one what he can do. The Warriors legit have a guy who can play those non-Steph minutes, like a legit all-star type guy. He may not be an all-star anymore, but he can still bring it when Steph is on the bench. Butler, the dude, he draws fouls, and that's something that the Warriors have had tons of problems with getting to the line for the last several years. You know what I mean? Like Poole wouldn't get calls, Curry wouldn't get calls, and no one else was driving to the basket a few years back. And Wiggins wasn't aggressive enough. And we all know Kuminga can get to the line, but there was no one else, and Kuminga is injured right now. So in this one, Jimmy Butler went to the line 13 times, and he was 11 for 13. That's huge because you saw in this game that gets the Warriors into the bonus, that gets them to the foul line a lot faster, and that just generates more and more free throws for the Warriors and gets, the other teams in foul trouble. So that's huge right there. If you can consistently, obviously you won't get 13 free throws every game, but if you can get like 6, 7, then, we're happy. The dude only took 1 3-pointer, 0 for 1, but hey, I'm good with that. And he was 7 for 12. Solid. Not a ton of shots, but solid. And 25 points plus 16, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 boards. So it looked pretty bad in this one for a while. That first half, they were all lifeless, right? Like Butler looked decent, and you could see that there were some, the lack of familiarity was there, but the Warriors just weren't hitting shots, and some of their subs just weren't bringing it. But something clicked in that third quarter, and they went from down 24 in this game to winning by 21. So that's solid. Again, the Bulls are bad, but we're not measuring the Warriors against the Bulls. You know what I mean? Measuring against what we have seen in the past 2 months. And I said that this is the most excited I've been for a Warriors game in a really, really long time, just because I wanted to see something different, and I wanted to see how good Butler still was. And he doesn't have to be the best player on the team, and he's not. And what he needs is somebody like Steph. He needs somebody like, honestly, Draymond. And what Steph needs is someone like Jimmy Butler. He has to be great if he could hit more threes, but right now, let's just keep moving forward, because the thing is with the Warriors, there was no perfect deal out there. They had been backed up into a corner, so the perfect deal was whatever deal they could get before the trade deadline. And, this one's solid. Props to Lacob. He paid Butler, and he got Butler. And for at least the rest of this season And maybe next season, I don't know if he gets cantankerous again, wanting an extension when he's like 37, 38. But this season, it's going to be relatively pleasant. And my friend Aaron in Toronto, he pointed out that Jimmy Butler was getting double teamed. And when was the last time you seen a Warriors player get double teamed besides Steph? That frees up Steph and other guys, and it just really, really stretches defenses when Steph is in the game and when Steph is not in the game. So there's somebody there who can do dynamic things. And, you know, Jimmy Butler, like, he is not great at any one thing. He's not like, Kevin Durant, this 7-foot shooter who can shoot it from anywhere. He's not Steph, who's the greatest shooter of all time. He's not LeBron, who is just a physical specimen with speed and skill. But Jimmy Butler is a very, very good basketball player all around. He's tough. He can make plays. He has some athleticism still. And these are all positives as you're trying to move forward. And yes, I'm running off a little bit of the high of this one, but again, if I'm sitting like, oh, I wish we got Zach LaVine instead, it's like what Jimmy Butler brings also is some leadership, which from what I've seen, not so much with Zach LaVine. He's a winner, although he's never won the title. He knows how to put teams away. He's clutch. We've seen that in the playoffs. And Zach LaVine has perennially been on losing teams. And just all those intangibles that you want in a player. And it's great to see. It's great to see because other teams have to worry about Jimmy Butler. They weren't worrying about Andrew Wiggins. We know that. You don't even need me to say that. If we get past our feelings of how much we like Wiggins as a dude, then, we'll all see that. It's an obvious upgrade just because Jimmy Butler is a better player. And so if he's healthy and he is happy, then all signs look good, And honestly, like Pods is looking more like Pods. He's consistently looking like Pods from last year. And that's a good sign. And then you get Kuminga back. Hopefully he doesn't miss a beat. And hopefully it doesn't take him long to get back up to speed. But I'm going to enjoy seeing that. And that's why I'm kind of just honestly like more engaged. And, getting Butler is good for the Warriors on the court. And it's good for Lacob and the Warriors organization off the court. Because at the end of the day, this is like the entertainment media company part of this whole equation. People like me, I was like less and less interested in watching the Warriors, not just because they were losing, but because they were boring. The way they were losing, the blandness of it all. You know what I mean? The mediocrity. And you can be really good, you can be really bad, but you just can't be mediocre. And now the Warriors are intriguing, are interesting, and well played, Joe Lacob. You brought me back. You brought me back from, I wasn't going to cancel my NBA League Pass, but I was really, really like, oh man, tempted. I could buy like a burrito with that money every month. But at the end of the day, I just want to be entertained. I've said that. I said that at some point last season. I'm saying it this season. That's all I want. I don't want the stress of Draymond punching somebody out. I don't want the stress of Draymond getting suspended for 20-ish games. I just don't want the drama. I want to see some good, interesting basketball, some imaginative, beautiful basketball, something that just gives that oomph. You know what I mean? Something. And so when I think about Kuminga coming back and, a lineup with Steph, Jimmy Butler, Kuminga, Draymond, and whomever else, right? Pods. I mean, that's a small lineup, but that's a fun lineup, right? May not have any dead-eye shooters besides Steph, but it's a fun, tough lineup. And Jimmy Butler, hey, we always use this word for Warriors players, he's may not be as great of a connector as like a Draymond or a Steph, but he knows how to play and he knows how to pass and he knows how to cut and he knows how to set screens and he knows when to get his and put up his shot. So I like that. He's got some attitude, and I've talked about how much the Warriors need some attitude, just like a shot in the arm, not just a change in the roster, but like somebody who's really just going to be like, whoa, okay, we got some like different energy from this guy. It's not just from Steph, it's not just from Draymond. There's another dude out there who's in the mix for all this. So, you love to see it. Props to Jimmy Butler for having a good night. Props to the Warriors for waking up somehow. I'm recording this before the pressers or before I've read any articles about it. I haven't been on Twitter or anything. I just watched the game. And if this effort and these different lineups and combinations, if these continue as they should, then there's something interesting brewing here. I'm not saying that, oh, all of a sudden they got a title contender, but they have a fun product on the court and they're giving Steph a vet, an old head, a dog, somebody who he can trust out there that knows how to play, that can get the calls from the refs, that can bait other players on other teams into fouls, and can get them on the right side of all the advantages that it seems like they tend to not have when they're rolling out like 12, 13 guys. You know what I mean? So, again, one game against a really bad tanking Bulls team that, traded away Zach Levine. So we'll see. We'll see where this goes. All right. That's all I got.